Just want to make sure we're gonna, let's do the people's business here for about 3 hours, all right?
3 hours.
The Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority Board of Commissioners meetings are held the third Thursday of each month at 5 p.m. All meetings are normally conducted here at 3116 South Street, unless otherwise noticed. All members of the public are welcome to attend. So, Ms. Marshall, if you go do the roll call, please.
Absolutely. Commissioner Barham. Commissioner Koss.
Here.
Commissioner Pickens.
Here.
Commissioner Prince. Commissioner Wicks.
Here.
Vice Chair Jiggets.
Here.
Chair Lalonde.
Here, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you for everybody being here and staff, of course, with y'all from the significant activities report. Great job and a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts going on with PRHA. You have in front of you or have sent to you the minutes for the January 27th, 2021 meeting. Unless there's any changes at all, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to.
Have a motion, Ms. Wick, and a second, Ms. Pickens. Thank you very much. Ms. Marshall.
Commissioner Koss.
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens.
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks.
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggets.
Yes. Chair
Lalonde.
Yes, thank you. I've got about a half a dozen things to go through, and before I go through them, there's a portion down here with the under the executive director's comments in the agenda about the CEO matrix, and that's regarding the performance evaluation, the performance that we're going to need to do for executive director, Mr. Bland, and I would like to take that offline, not tonight, but do a closed session on that, where we can have a bit more time to talk about performance of Mr. Bland. Do I at least have a head nod on that from everybody? Okay. Is there a good day or time? Just want to kind of poll everybody right now. Can we do it sometime? Is there a good day or day next week or after evening next week? Is good for everybody?
Evening.
Evening, okay. Any particular day? Right. Anybody?
I coach softball, basketball on Monday and Wednesday, so not Monday, Wednesday evening.
Okay, so how about Thursday? 6 o'clock? Maybe give everybody a little more time, or do you still want 5 o'clock? Okay,
5 o'clock is good.
good,
6 is a little too late.
good. Vice Chair? Next Thursday?
Okay, I was just, isn't there something else we're supposed to be doing with the, PPIC? When is that?
That's been called off. That was. in
Oh, that's
August.
called off.
That's
Okay,
That was
okay.
with the EDA. All right, so next Thursday, we'll split the difference, 5:30.
Okay.
Okay, here? Okay, all right. And does that have to be, do we got to be in open session, then go into closed session, back in open session? Okay.
Yeah.
And Judge, you'll take care of the paperwork for us?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
And what is the topic? What are we doing?
The performance of
Okay.
the executive director, personnel matter.
Okay.
Okay.
And this will be a special meeting.
Yes, ma'am. A special meeting or a closed meeting?
It'll be a special meeting, but it'll be a closed.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you, thank you. Again, as far as myself, a busy month, had a meeting with the Portsmouth Partnership just a couple of days ago, talking to them about how we're doing, in particular about that property that we bought in Churchland. In fact, with that in mind, I'd like to have the next board meeting at that property in Churchland, if it'll work out logistically. Okay?
Which property?
The property that we just bought in Churchland.
Okay.
Okay, have the meeting there. And taking Sean, if we get the.
House on the hill.
Yeah, the house on the hill.
Right, but I mean,
Right.
where will we meet? In the actual house?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
because
What
it's
I-
ours.
What I would like to do, if it'll work, I'd like to have a meeting and we try and expedite as much as possible. And then maybe have an open house after that. So if anybody wants to bring their loved ones or kids or something, or the public wants to come, staff wants to come, just kind of show off the house and the property. I know I've been out there a couple times. That is a nice piece of property. There's a lot of potential. Now we got to turn it into execution. So that's the next board meeting. And again, if there's any pushback, y'all call me separately, right?
Okay.
It's not that.
Well, you're not saying for the March meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
I thought that's when you're gonna be out of town.
No, ma'am. I'm gonna be out of town in
When you gonna be out of town for the, convention?
May.
Oh, it's in May.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay.
Okay. So good meeting with Portsmouth Partnership. I've met with the Craddock Civic League, and I know Phil's been talking with Craddock Civic League and some of those folks about the property that's out there. I met with the West Park View Civic League, all right? Talked to them about just keeping them city, citizens up to date on what we're doing in the city. Had a meeting with the Portsmouth Catholic Regional School about opportunities for some of our people and how some of our kids that are in housing, scholarships that are available through Portsmouth Catholic Regional School. I want to bring to everybody's attention, again, the conferences that are coming up. I know the next one is May in San Antonio, and I know Ms. Marshall's taking everybody, so if you want to go to that. But take a look at the list. There's one in September in San Diego, all right? And then further out, closer to us, the State of the City, which the PRHA always has a table for the State of the City that the mayor is going to have. They didn't have one last year because of COVID. They haven't had one for 2 years because of COVID. But PRHA always has a table, and that's going to be on April 13th, and that's usually during the lunch hour, okay? So if you'd like to attend that, make sure you push your name to Mr. Bland. We just want to, I think it's a table of 10, 8 or 10. We want to make sure we get the table filled. All right. And then you should have, if you got it in front of you, if you didn't, the Virginia Governor's Housing Conference is scheduled for Washington, D.C., Arlington, Virginia, November the 16th to the 18th. So that's one that, again, a local type of thing. And if you remember it or not, each commissioner has been allocated $5,000 for education, training, and travel for any conferences or education you think you need that supports the sports program. Okay. That's all I got. Okay. As far as the finance committee, Ms. Pickens, you or me? You. Hi, sir. Thank you. We both met with Shannon about half hour, 45 minutes ago. No new news to report. We're again, the challenge, of course, is the audits that we have in front of us. All right. And we continue to move forward on the audits. There's been no unusual expenses. And we'll talk a little bit more when we get into development about some of the issues that we have. All right. Development. And is that you, Scott? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Capital improvements continue for Seaboard and Westport High and also Holly Square. Plus new fencing around the perimeter of Lexington Place will begin next week. Tax credit applications due in March. With the 95 units of senior housing for Lincoln Park. We also preparing funding applications, including application for tax credit, and expect to see approval for the board. Is it February or March? This meeting, okay, for this meeting, okay. The last 12 vacant lots have been transferred to Pyramid Enterprises for residential construction in Parkview. They will be begin constructing homes in Parkview through 2022. Senior home repair program received 18 applications for rehabilitation. Applications are being reviewed, and the lottery will be held to determine the order of processing. And this is for development.
Thank you, Ms. Coffin. Human Resources Committee, I know Sean's not here. You got that again?
Yep.
Ms. Coffin, you know, we only pay once. We only pay once.
We still reviewing the booklet, still not quite finished yet, so that's pretty much it.
Vice Chair, you're up.
For the housing committee.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll do it.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
thank you, Ms. Wicks.
The Housing Choice Voucher Program is continuing to work with our mainstream family unification and emergency housing voucher holders in their search for housing. We are continuing to update household and income information for voucher issuance to the Swanson residents that have selected to receive a tenant protection voucher for relocation. The Housing Department is continuing to assist the residents with their delinquent rental accounts through the Virginia Rental Relief Program, RRP, Gov2Go, and payments are being received on the residents' behalf. Also, the Housing Committee, the Housing Department will be presenting 2 resolutions for public housing write-offs and assisted housing write-offs, and requested to write off $10,747.95 for the public housing communities and $2,951 for the assisted housing communities. And that's our update for.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
I got one question for that.
Mr. Val or Carol?
She has a question.
Just had a question for the write-off. Are y'all writing off people? 'Cause I know our people still, they pay for people who also moved out as well. So y'all already tried that already.
Applied.
Hmm.
A lot of people haven't applied at that time. You're writing off from July 1st, 2021 through December
Mhm.
30th.
Yeah,
So people that moved out, you already tried to get it already.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll
because I
talk,
had-
we'll
we had
talk,
already
we'll talk more
questioned it.
about that when we get to those two
Yeah.
resolutions. We'll
Okay.
get to the weeds, okay? Yeah,
Mhm.
take it. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you,
You're
Mr. Lewis. Okay. And as far as governance goes, but nothing for governance, I know Mr. Bland just gave me, by the way, he wants us to start looking at the bylaws. And so I guess he'll pass them to both of us and see if we want to make any updates to the bylaws.
And then, as the chair just said, the last time you guys voted on the bylaws, I think it was like 2015, something like that. Even if you don't make any changes, it's just good to go ahead and reintroduce them and do a board resolution, for 2020. I'd like to try to maybe have that completed at the April board meeting.
Okay, all right.
And normally, because when we had started this, before I came on, and we had, remember, we had commissions to submit input on updating of the bylaws, so I would suggest that we still ask for input from the commissioners
Okay.
on the bylaws.
Right. Once
Commissioners
you email the bylaws to everybody,
Yeah, to
so we've got them,
everybody.
all right, so we can discuss them the next meeting, and then we'll vote on them and
Yeah.
see what other changes we have. Okay, good, thank you. Ms. Blaine, you're up.
Well, you kind of took all my thunder away, so.
I gotta take that thunder away, sir.
I don't really have anything except that, as the chair just said, look at some of the conferences, that, see if you want to go to, and, you have the governor's conference coming up in November. You got the state of the city message coming up coming up. So look at that for April. But beyond that, we've been doing a pretty good job. We haven't had a lot of, I call negative activity in our communities. Although it's been some in the city, but there's hasn't been a lot going on in our particular property. So we kind of trying to stay on top of that. And that's basically it. I'm trying to, important information I try to send out to you, whenever I get something important, I just try to stick it in the mail to you. That's it.
Dolores, I guess you're up.
Evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is I am going to see.
I'm here tonight. I'm here tonight, to ask approval for 2 contracts in regards to RFP, which is a request for proposal 2021-09 for rehabilitation contractor services. We, issued this back in October for firms to provide a pool of rehabilitation contractors to do rehabilitation repair of the properties for the programs, rehabilitation programs that the development department is establishing, such as the elderly rehab and the lead-based paint remediation programs. The contracts will be for a period of 1 year, with an option to renew for up to 4 additional years, 1-year periods at PRHA sole discretion. From that solicitation, we received 2 proposals. We advertised in EVA, which is the state's website, the Builders and Contractors Exchange, and our PRHA website. Based on the statistics, over 6,700 firms received notification that the solicitation was out there. We only got the 2 viable proposals by November the 4th, when the proposals were due. And they were from Pyramid Enterprise, LLC, and Mark Turner Construction. They're both small minority businesses. And we had an evaluation committee that was made up of Philip Page, Liam Cobb, Tanya Miller, and Brittany Thompson. We actually included staff members who are not normally involved in the these types of contracts, because we wanted fresh eyes.
Hmm.
And we wanted to, so that there was it was all new to them. But they were able to look at the information that was presented in the proposals and determine whether or not these contractors met the technical requirements. And they did a wonderful job too. They reviewed the proposals from the offerers, and actually both of the offerers were well within the competitive range based on their technical experience, the information they presented. I began price negotiations with them to see, if they could do better than they presented, and we did get, the pricing was, reasonable. So both firms were selected to form this pool, so that we can provide these rehabilitation services for the development department. And they have, experience. Pyramid has worked on several of PRHA. They're one of our general service contractors that we use now, as well as they built some homes on some lots that we owned. They also, did, repairs at a church and several residential repairs, of the type that we would be asking them to do with this program. And Mark Turner Construction has done work for Virginia State. They did a rehab where they turned the old Whitaker Hospital in Newport News into apartments. And they've worked with several apartment complexes doing renovation and rehabilitation work. So based on the selection criteria that was established by the procurement department and the recommendations from the evaluation committee and their references, it is recommended that we accept Pyramid Enterprise LLC and Mark Turner Construction as our rehabilitation contractors for this solicitation.
Right, commissioners, any discussions?
I think the only thing I would say is in this time, with the cost of construction going up so much, it seems like that's very reasonable, because I know the general contractors are having challenges out here that they have never seen before, with the prices going up so high. That's my own comment.
Yeah, it has been a challenge, and
Yeah,
I've heard from all of them all the time.
yeah.
The other work that I do that involving contractors, the cost is the cost, all right? The biggest issue has been time. Was there anything in the solicitation that if you made a call, they had to be on site within 24 hours, 40 hours, 36 hours? Was there anything that were holding their feet to the fire? Because that's the biggest issue I've had with contractors. Yes, we'll take the work, but we're backlogged, short on people, can't show up for 2 weeks, can't show up for a month.
Well, because of these types of jobs, because these will be jobs, once the citizens apply for the services, then we will set up, a time with them to do the walkthrough. So it is not like it was a, job, like one of our units that we need to get.
Yes, yes.
There's an urgency because we have to make sure our residents are secure.
Okay.
But these jobs, it's gonna be some time involved in these jobs to do the walkthrough and then come up with the
Okay.
proposals and
Okay.
get the
Okay,
material.
okay, very good, very good. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Dolores.
Thank you.
Excellent job. And I thought it was very unique. They're bringing some folks in with fresh eyes and plus it involves people outside the normal realm so they can see what other stuff we do. So it's a great learning opportunity. So thank you very much.
It is. I try to have at least one person that's not involved in it at all from a totally different department.
Yes, ma'am.
So they-
Yes, ma'am. We're gonna vote on these 2 resolutions and then we'll go to the other 2 resolutions. Is that right? So I'm gonna go one at a time for the 2 that Dolores just went over. Resolution 2022-04, resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for rehabilitation contractor services between Portsmouth Redevelopment Housing Authority and Pyramid Enterprise. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion
Yep.
to accept
Wait.
resolution 2022.
Second, Commissioner Cost, thank you very much. All right, Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggets,
Yes.
Chair Luhavi.
Yes, thank you. And now this same resolution, but now plugging in Mark Turner for 2022-05, resolution authorizing the execution of a contract for rehabilitation contractor services between Portsmouth Redevelopment and Housing Authority and Mark Turner Construction LLC. I need a motion.
I make a motion.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Yep, thank you, Commissioner Pickens. Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggets,
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Yes. Well, this is every 6 months we do this. Okay, thank you very much. You're up.
These are right off from January first, 2021 to June 30th, 2021. First one is the public housing one. We are requesting approval to write off one delinquent account totaling $2,951 of this amount is rent. Due from a former resident who have not lived in the authority's low rent public housing for a period of at least 6 months. The amount of rent to be written off represents less than 1% of the total rent posted of $817,864.04 during the last 6 months. Since January 1st, 2021, staff have collected $9,605.08 from public housing developments, in which $7,959.86 is from house collections and $1,645.22 is from set-off debt claims. The writing off of these account receivables will in no way include our continued efforts to collect money owed to the authorities. Second,
Let me stay with that one. And Commissioner Pickens, since you're new, what this represents is, again, money that's due to us, has not been paid. We have to wait at least 6 months, all right, before we can write it off. Just takes it off the books. It's more of an accounting drill. Val and her folks, they still go after it. In fact, they register with the IRS. So if there's any, or the federal government, so if there's any monies that person applies for a grant or something, or they have a tax return, we will get that money. So Val's folks have been very good in trying to collect this. So, okay. All right, let's go to the second one.
the second one is for the assisted housing. We are requesting approval to write off 8 delinquent accounts totaling $10,747.95. Of this amount, $8,977 is in rent, $225 in excess utilities, and $1,545 in miscellaneous charges, which are due from former residents who have not lived in the authority's assisted housing for a period of at least 6 months or who are deceased. The amount of rent to be written off represents less than 1% of the total rent posted during the last 6 months. The amount written off resulted from 1 skip out, 1 move out for a serious lease violation, 3 accounts resulted from voluntary move out, and 3 accounts resulted from death. Since January 1st, 2021, staff have collected a total of $4,610 for the assisted housing developments, in which $3,545 is from in-house collections and $1,064 is from state set-off debt claims. The writing off of these accounts receivables will in no way preclude our continued efforts to collect monies owed to the authority.
Any questions at all? Again, Val, I just want to compliment you. This is these are some of the lower numbers that we've had. Given that we're in a period of the pandemic, and you brought up a good point about the rent money. I think it's been phenomenal that this is all we've had for write-offs. Again, representing less than 1% of our rent. That's pretty significant during this COVID period. So thank you very much. All right. Thank you, Val. Great job. All right. I'm going to go through both of these separately. Resolution 2022-06, resolution writing off uncollectible resident accounts receivable public housing in the amount of $2,951. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion
Thank
to
you,
accept
Commissioner Whit, in a second.
2007.
Commissioner Cost, thank you very much. Ms. Marshall?
Commissioner Cost,
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens,
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks,
Yes.
Vice Chair Jiggets,
Yes.
Chair Lalonde.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Boy, I'm racing through this meeting. I don't mean to push you guys.
No, race on.
I got it.
We all trying to get out.
You know,
Oh.
Commissioner Cost, Commissioner Pickens, there was a time when I first came aboard, these meetings would last 3 hours.
Yes.
3 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
Yes.
Oh, now we're here.
Yes, sir.
They like to sit council
Yes,
meeting.
sir. 3 3 hours.
He can be
I
long.
mean, one of the requirements, you have to bring a pillow and a bedroll.
Looking at
It was
this.
tough. It was tough.
Agenda,
It was
I'll be
tough.
happy.
Right? So, now we're at resolution 2020-207, and a lot of it has to do, the staff has just done a great job preparing us, and, these committees that we're doing, I appreciate y'all's involvement too,
Mhm.
because now we don't have to have that roundtable discussion. Y'all are digging into what, again, you're seeing what great jobs these folks are doing, so thank you.
Yeah.
Resolution 2020-207, resolution writing off uncollectible resident accounts receivable assisted living in the amount of $10,747.95. I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Pickens, yes, second. Ms. Cost, thank you. Ms. Marshall again?
Commissioner Cost?
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens?
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks?
Yes,
Vice Chair Jiggets?
Yes,
Chair Lalonde?
Yes, thank you. So now we're gonna go into, well, is that right? No, public speakers. Public speakers are allowed 5 minutes to speak. Do we have anybody online? No? Okay, thank you. Warren, do a great job. Thank you. All right. Guess there's a resolution I have to read in here somewhere.
Yes,
Let's see it. Resolution 2022-08, resolution of intent to meet in closed meeting. Whereas the Freedom of Information Act provides that the Board of Commissioners can meet in a closed meeting for discussion of the disposition of publicly held property, where discussion in open meeting would adversely affect the bargaining position or negotiation strategy of the public body as set forth in section 2.23711 of the Code of Virginia as amended. The matters of discussion are the disposition of real properties located in Prentice Park, Old Town, Victory Crossing, Downtown, and Lincoln Park. Now therefore be it resolved that in compliance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act and above referenced sections of the Virginia Code, the Board of Commissioners shall reconvene in a closed meeting on February 17th, 2022 for discussion of the disposition of real properties in pursuant to Virginia Code. And I guess we need a vote.
so move.
Yeah, thank you. And a second.
I second.
Thank you, Ms. Wicks.
Commissioner Cost?
Yes.
Commissioner Pickens?
Yes.
Commissioner Wicks?
Yes,
Vice Chair Jiggets?
Yes.
Chair Lalonde?
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, we're in closed session.